And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Atlantic City's Convention Hall here on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim, weighing in at 218 pounds. He comes to us tonight from Miami, Florida, with a professional record of 30 victories, 27 by KO. Only one defeat. He is ranked number 5 in the world by the WBC. Tonight, he is a man on a mission. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger, Philip Jackson. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with red trim, weighing in at 235 pounds. This 1988 Olympic gold medalist as a super heavyweight now is undefeated as a professional. His record, 24-0, 20 KOs to his credit. He comes to us from East London, England. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undefeated WBC Heavyweight Champion of the World, Lennox.
Good evening, Lennox and Phil. You both know the rules of the WBC. We expect you to obey these rules, and I'll enforce them. Shake hands now. Return to your corners. Good luck.
There we go. Enough respect. Keep it in the circle. Busy jab, baby.
Arthur McCanty. More world title refereeing accomplishments than anybody reffing today. Round 1 scheduled for 12. You see how big Lewis is in comparison to the shorter Jackson. Lewis, 1988 gold medal winner in the super heavyweight division. Had a very impressive amateur career. A short, choppy right hand. Jackson's down and up. At about 2:15 of the first round. Lewis will need a very impressive win here tonight for the United States media to buy his act. But he has a mandatory fight coming up with Oliver McCall, the #1 contender in the WBC ratings. There's a more of a pushing left from Jackson. Here comes Lewis jabbing. This is what he did in the later rounds against Bruno, missing the overhand right. He does have superior height and reach, and he's a fine athlete. Jackson's got to pour it on. Jackson's got to go for it. He's about 6 feet tall. He's sturdy. Very strong. Very strong. And if he puts the pressure on, the strategy is that they want him to duck under. Oh, he nailed Lewis with right. They want him to duck under Lewis's jab and go to the body. That remains to be seen. Right now, he's shooting for Lewis's jaw. But it does make sense, doesn't it? There you see him ducking, looking up underneath the left jab of Lewis. But then keep in mind, Lewis has that right hand cocked and ready to go. First round action. 20 seconds remaining here in the opening round. This might be interesting after all. However, Jackson's been down already, but doesn't seem to be bothered by it. He got up immediately. Closing seconds now. And suddenly Lewis is doing some strange things.
Break on the jab. Corner's out, baby. Okay. Stay with the jab. Finish your heat instead of go.
Round 2 scheduled for 12. Lewis's corner told him exactly what he should do, which is use the jab. Now, he used it early in round 1, then he stopped using it. And they want him to use it. They want him to use it consistently to set up the right hand. Well, let's see if he does. He does tend to drop that left hand, however. But keep in mind, he has power in both those hands, as does Jackson. Jackson is looking for that underneath opening to the midsection. Lewis's jab is just keeping Jackson away enough to make him do that. Lunge and miss. There is no snap on those jabs, by the way. Those jabs are used more to keep Jackson away so he can find range with the right hand. Dropping his hands. Much speculation about Lennox Lewis. Fine athlete, no doubt about that. I guess it's the way he came by his belt after it was tossed in the trash can by Riddick Bowe. And then depending on which side you listen to, Lewis says that Bowe didn't want to fight him. And Bowe's people say that they offered Lewis $3 million to fight, but that wasn't enough money. And then Tommy Morrison was on track to fight Lennox Lewis and took a fight against an unheard of fighter and got knocked out. Now Evander Holyfield is gone from the scene. So will Michael Moore eventually unify the title with Lewis? Lewis is supposedly game, but Moore right now is saying he doesn't even want to talk about unification. That's all the media wants to talk about, and he's tired of the media talking about it. But it'll probably come about most likely next year. Meanwhile, Lewis has that mandatory fight with Oliver McCall. Closing seconds of round 2 settled into a steady pattern. Round 3, Lennox Lewis's handler is getting out of the ring slowly. And Arthur McCanny told him you have to clear out faster than that. Here we go. And there's a counter right from Jackson. The strategy from Lennox's corner is they want him to jab, throw the right hand, come back with the left hook. But here's Jackson. Now Jackson's people told him, stay low and get inside. And there's Jackson. He's putting on pressure. Keep in mind that Bruno put pressure on Lewis and had him confounded a bit. But then Lewis threw that left hook from nowhere and won the fight. I think the difference here is, or one of the differences, is the fact that Phil Jackson is a powerful man. There's an overhand right, a solid overhand right from the champion. And here comes Jackson. He was stung, and he's going to fight back. He'll tell you right up front his problem when he lost to Ruddock. He was intimidated. He said, I lost that fight more than Ruddock won it. Well, that's a familiar excuse we hear a lot from fighters. But obviously tonight he's not intimidated. He can't be intimidated. This is his shot. His one and only shot at a world title. There's the jab. Lewis is definitely inconsistent here. That jab should be so powerful. The right hand, the left hook, that's what his corner wants. Instead, he's dropping his hands and doing some dancing. But just out of reach of the charging Jackson. I don't know. I'm trying to imagine Lewis in with a Michael Moore, or for that matter, Riddick Bowe. That would be a fight. Well, Lewis has to get out of here first with a victory. And then he has to get by Oliver McCall before he can think of Riddick Bowe or anybody. Jackson's trying to make a fight out of it. He just doesn't have the reach. And Lewis is just moving away enough to make him miss. There's a double jab, a decent double jab. And leaped out of the way of the counter. At the bell.
Beautiful round. Beautiful round. And listen now. Nice and suave, everybody. Listen. I want you to start. You will shoot that jab. You crack that hard right hand behind his elbows and come back with the hook for it, right? Okay. Do not stand up straight. As long as you, excuse me one second, as long as you move into your left with your jab, you are taking away his left hook completely. That's all this sucker has is a left hook. All right? Good. Now stay with that jab of yours. Also, when he got to shoot,
let's go back and look at the third round action. There's the charging Jackson. Getting in the right hand.
You had him over here with his hands down, and you didn't work. When you get there, you gotta let him go. You understand? Work. Come on, Philip. Let's go.
once in a while, try this.
Here we go, round 4, scheduled for 12 in defense of Lennox Lewis's World Boxing Council heavyweight title in Atlantic City, the third time that the champion has fought here over the years. Now again, the corner has said, use the jab and throw the right and come back with a left hook. And they want that. They want him to do that very much. Well, let's see if he does it. They want him to throw the right behind the left jab and then follow with a left hook. Now what he's doing is he's jabbing, but he's not throwing the right. Well, somewhat. Delayed action right hand. It's definitely not fighting a smooth fight. But then it's tough to fight somebody like Phil Jackson, who is basically a brawler. Basically a fighter who, like I said earlier, would like to box, but really never learned so-called boxing skills in the sense that he can go to it if he had to. He only knows one thing: come straight at you and hit you with either hand. Fourth round action.
Stop holding, Lennox. Right, step back. Don't hit on the break. Let's go.
Arthur McCanny breaks the fighters. There's the right hand, but the right hand was thrown down at Jackson's midsection. There's the jab. He's doing what Larry Holmes likes to do. Reach out with the left hand and measure the opponent. But they want him to fire the right. He's not doing it. They're screaming in his corner, throw the right hand. And there it is. If you remember in the Bruno fight, he didn't throw the right hand, and there was speculation he might have hurt his right hand. But he did well with the left hook in the Bruno fight. And afterwards said no, his right hand was fine. So we have to ask the question, if he's got the great jab and his corner is screaming at the top of their lungs to throw the right hand, why isn't he throwing? Why is he relying strictly on the left? They also want him to move to the left. And now he's standing. Well, there's an overhand, sort of a chopping right, I guess you'd call it. There's a solid right. And the crowd, of course, does not like the showmanship of the champion. In the final seconds here of round 4.
Breathe and relax. Breathe and relax. Slow it down. Slow it down. Breathe and relax. Okay, Philip, come behind the jab. Okay, stay with your jab. You're getting there.
When he missed the left hook, I was to come right back with 1-2.
Looking a lot better now, Philip. You understand?
Now,
You're good.
we're going to finish this round this time
getting
with left hook.
closer.
Continue to circle. You are quicker than he is. You are stronger than he is, and he cannot figure it out. He's catching hell getting past your jab. Keep the jab in his face. And anything else you want to do behind the jab is there for you to do. Got me? Okay. Good work. Good work. Yeah, not only are you boxing, you're showing how good you can box. Keep your hands up.
Don't worry about this. Come on. Where's that jab? If that's up, Philip, back him up.
Round 5, scheduled for 12. And what is the target now that they're asking Lennox Lewis to go for? The swollen eye of Jackson. Keep the jab working on that swollen eye, they say. And he's trying to do that. A glancing right from the champion, and then he's pushed into the ropes by the challenger. Actually, the champion looks a bit winded, although he's smiling and laughing and talking to the challenger, who's showing there's a good right. Jackson is not intimidated. He's making the fight, actually. He's making the fight. Here he comes. A left hand. Jackson can rock you with either hand. He's getting wild. He's got to be careful now. Got to be careful. He could walk into a Lewis left. He definitely had the champion on his heels. The jab. Right to the midsection. That was a good right to the midsection. Makes you wonder why he's throwing that right so low when he's so tall. You would think it would come down right on square on the nose of Jackson. Jackson's pressing the fight. He's the aggressor here. Lewis showing inconsistency. A man obviously with talent. But he would not be able to box like this against Riddick Bowe, and really would not even be able to box like this against the old champion Larry Holmes. And here comes Jackson right back. Took a combination and came roaring right back. He has not shown fear. Here he is as the champion on the far ropes. Appalling jab by the champion. Good right hand, a left and a right, and down goes the challenger. Up in time. He took 3 thunderous punches at the bell. Lewis, they're unhappy because he knocked Jackson down after the bell. And Arthur McCanny warns him. He's really warning him now.
He's fine.
And he takes a point away. Arthur McCanny has taken a point away from the champion for the late knockdown punch.
They took a point away from him, Phil. We're right back in this fight. You understand? You understand?
Here it is. Let's go back and look at it.
Don't ground him.
That is the thing that Lewis has in his favor. There's a thunderous right, a glancing left. Actually, it was the first punch, the right hand that did it. Here's a man who has great athletic ability, and here's a man who really is still very groggy as we begin round 6. Wait a minute. They have another mouthpiece problem. They've got to put the mouthpiece in. And the tape is coming off his glove. Oh, that's what it was. Arthur McCanny had a pair of scissors in his pocket and snipped the loose tape off the glove. Here's Lewis now. He can end it. Jackson is rocky from the last round, and he's going to go. He may go. If he has any guts, intestinal fortitude, he's got to come back here. And he comes back. He comes back. He comes roaring back. However, that didn't do much damage. Lewis definitely in control. But you see, Lewis can make mistakes, but then he can suddenly throw a very effective punch, reminiscent of the Bruno fight. And of course, he threw another knockdown punch after the bell and lost the point. There's a short chopping left from the challenger, a left to the body, a right to the body of Lewis. Arthur McCanny's he's pushing those fighters apart. He's not intimidated either. Here's Lewis, a short chopping right inside. He is a superb athlete, but his boxing has got to be more consistent. A right left to Jackson. Jackson holding on, taking the right, ducking, holding on desperately now with 1 minute remaining in round 6. Misses the uppercut. Lewis trying to set him up. Overhand right, misses. Lewis again now. Appears to be toying with the challenger, who's grabbing and holding. Trying to survive at this point. The left is blocked, the right is blocked. Lewis misses. Jab now, jab. And again, his corner yells for the right hand follow-up. Now they're yelling, where's the left hook? And Jackson makes it through the 6th round.
Now settle down. We're gonna go back to the jab and we're gonna keep this thing in the center ring and loosen him up again. Don't try to get him out this round. Take this round off, use the jab on him.
When you roll that right hand of his, come back with the hook. His ass is tired too, Philip. He is tired too, okay? He shot his wad. He shot his wad. You gotta show the heart now. Now, you stay on the phone. Philip, use that jab. Your left hand is fine, and use your hook when you get close. Hook, hook, hook. Jab and hook. Do you understand? What are you gonna do? You're doing good, Philip. You're doing great. He will go down. Go down. Let's go to turn. I promise you, show the heart. Rely on your left hand more, you understand? You can do it, Philip. Show the world how good you are.
Round 7, and Jackson is late getting out of his corner. You heard the instructions from Lewis's corner. They want him to go back to jabbing in the center of the ring. Don't try to take him out. Wear him down a little bit. They feel Jackson has about had it, and they want the champion to stay in the middle of the ring and jab and wear him down a bit more. Good jabs. The counter left from Jackson is blocked and missed. And once again, we have loose tape. The old problem in boxing: when is someone going to come up with an invention that will eliminate stopping fights to cut loose tape? How many times have you seen it? Must be an answer to it. I mean, an answer in solving it. Back to the action. Round 7. I admire Lennox Lewis's athletic abilities, but I'm not convinced. I am not convinced of his ability in boxing to stand up to people like Riddick Bowe and even a Michael Moore, who can be very erratic and very inconsistent. A very good chopping left hook. There's no doubt about it. Jackson's taking a beating. He is now showing wear and tear. Lewis is in control. The only way that Jackson has a chance now is to launch one of those punches from nowhere. Lewis, little by little, just taking over. He said, no matter how I win this fight, the media will probably discredit me anyhow. Oh, a left hook from Lewis, but back comes the challenger with a left and a right. Both these gentlemen are landing tough punches and taking tough punches. If you were actually sitting here at ringside, you would feel the vibration of some of the punches, particularly some that have come from Lewis, like that uppercut. Oh, some of the most solid punches he's thrown in this fight. And Jackson took them. Let's go back to round 8 here. Oh, I'm sorry, round 7. And you see Jackson sticking the top of his head up into Lewis's face.
Okay, sir. On this side, right here. Okay, corners out, guys. Stay off the ropes. Stay off the ropes. Keep your hands up inside the ropes. Your defense is too good for you.
Round 8. They still want the jab from Lewis. I don't think it makes much difference at this point. I give the challenger much credit for taking some tremendous punches and hanging in there and coming back, showing a lot of spirit. Lewis, however, is very powerful and very quick, and now he goes to work to the body, to the head. I would guess that if this continues in this 8th round, the fight will be stopped. His eyes are badly swollen now. His right eye is nearly swollen shut. Jackson, that is. And he's breathing hard. Right now, he's running on pure guts. The jab is snapping in there. Lewis apparently is a slow starter. He seems very tentative when he starts out. And when he does see that he's taking control, he really takes control. Question is, he's undefeated. What would happen if he were in trouble in the mid-rounds? Would he have the same? There he goes. This is going to be it. This is it. It's over. Good combination, put him down. Very game fighter, Phil Jackson. Lewis dropped him. And he successfully defends his World Boxing Council heavyweight title. Will now have a mandatory fight with Oliver McCall, the #1 contender in the WBC. We have a fight breaking out here at ringside, folks, so bear with us because we're nearly in the thing. Let's go back to that last round. A tremendous right uppercut, another right hook. Incredible shots. The heavyweight division now is in such flux, it's difficult to say what's going to happen. Will Riddick Bowe get back into the picture? Here we go again from the overhead shot. Will he get back into the picture? Mike Tyson could be out of prison a year from now, back training. Let's get the official time of the stoppage from Michael Buffer.
Referee Arthur Mercante calls a halt to the bout. The official time, 1 minute, 35 seconds of round number 8. The winner by TKO victory and still the undefeated WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
And there are boos from the crowd here.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for a very game challenger from Miami, Florida.
I would have to say that Lennox Lewis does have talent, but I think the talent has to be a little more